So title, what is title? Title is the ownership or the rights of ownership to real property. Title is very important because you can get into a loan, but you can also add people to title after you get into that loan. So one party might be responsible for the mortgage and the other party or parties might be on title, which has ownership of real property. Title incorporates the bundle of rights. Also, it is evidence of the ownership to the real estate. Title may be held by one individual or a group of owners. Simply put, if one owns the property, then he or she has title to it. First, let's talk about the 5 ways to hold title through non-legal entities. Okay, so let's first talk about severalty. Title in severalty refers to one ownership by a single individual. This single individual is unmarried or alone, or is a single legal entity such as a corporation. In general, severalty controls sole ownership and control of the property. So the next topic we're going to talk about is joint tenants or joint tenancy, which is more than one individual. It's a group of owners. So this type of ownership is usually between parent and child, or husband and wife, or any party or group of parties that go on to title together, and the surviving spouse or surviving entity automatically takes over the ownership of that property. The other big parts to joint tenants, each owner has to have equal percentage or equal interest in the property. Also, it cannot be willed, therefore it does avoid the probate process. So now we're going to get to the last and most important. You have to look at the 4 unities, which is property, interest, time, and title. And when you look at time, that's very important, because when all of the owners that are on title, they don't own a percentage or they don't divide the property. What they do is they divide interest in the property. And so if somebody dies, then the other remaining owners take over. And if somebody wants to join title after that, it doesn't carry the same weight because that individual did not sign at the beginning of when all of that took place. So that time part in there is very important to look at. Okay, now we're here at tenancy in common. And tenancy in common is very popular because there's no size or percentage of ownership. You can have unequal amounts of ownership in tenancy in common. And this type of ownership is common with co-owners that are not married. And this is also popular when each owner may have contributed a different amount to the property. Here's some of the few bullet points to this. Some owners may or may not be married. Some owners also may have equal or unequal amount of interest in the property. There's no right of survivorship. So the last thing here, unlike joint tenants, is owners have the ability to convey the property without the other owner's consent. Okay, so we're at number 4, and this is for you married couples out there. Tenants in entirety. And what it's about is survivorship. You know, if you're married and you want your spouse to take over ownership without a will, this is for married couples only. And this is something you could look at to potentially, pass this property automatically. And this is for anybody out there that's married that wants to pass survivorship. It's similar to joint tenants, but this is specifically for married couples. And the other thing to know about tenancy in entirety as a married couple is both signatures have to be on title or have to be in place to convey property. Okay, we're at the tail end. This is the last of the non-legal entities. I know you're just as disappointed as I am. And we're talking about community property now. And this is equal percentage for married couples only. And if you created anything while you were married, then you are entitled to your share, half of that ownership. Property or anything created together, it was equal efforts. And so that entitlement for you as a spouse is you are entitled to half of all of that at the end. So if you guys have any questions, please email me or comment in the comment section below. Also, please stay tuned to a lot more videos coming out. We're going to talk a lot about more educational videos. I have a podcast that's going on. There's a lot of stuff that's happening. I'm excited about it. 2021 is going to be a good year for me. So you guys, thank you. Stay tuned to the next video and we'll talk to you then.